Okay, so in this video I want to talk about reckoning or ragnarok, and obviously this video will also have a spoiler warning, because I'm gonna name it talks about a little bit about the chapter 50 and this kind of thing. And obviously the thing is not so much about the chapter, because I already do a review of the chapter. I just want to talk about the new faction that is in Ragnarok right now. We know that the first Buddha was planned to fight against the 7 unlucky god, and then happened something to him, and then he was transformed to the demon Haijun of the 7 lord, the 7 lord of the hell underworld. So that means that our third faction is demons, and all of the gods beside Poseidon was very surprised and to know nothing about this Haijun, this demon, was he come from, all this kind of thing. And Hades knows a little bit about him. Hades described that it means the gods knows about 3 different worlds, where the gods is Valhalla, and where the human is, and then you have where the human souls, the gods, and then the second one is where the animals is. And obviously you have the third one is the underworld, that they also call hell, and this kind of thing, with different hells from different places, like with demons, all this kind of thing. And that's the interesting thing here, is that when we see all of this, we also see that the gods was totally unprepared for this newsment, for this kind of thing. When they do nothing, knows nothing about that information, so they were very surprised. Zeus was surprised, everybody was surprised that the demon come to this place, like the demon come, and this kind of thing. So what I mean with all of this is that I think all of the gods in Olympia, like in Valhalla, the main god, like Poseidon, Zeus, all of the big ones, was only suspect that they was the only power in Ragnarok, in that world, the only power, and they always look down on the human, but they totally forgot about the demons. And I think the demon have probably watched them for a very long time, to wait for their time to attack the gods and the human. And that also means that, because now there's 2 gods that is dead, Hercules and Poseidon is gone, so that means it's more easier now for the demons to attack the gods. And the first demon we see is Haijun, is some kind of a berserker. And the only thing that is a possibility here is that Beelzebub have something to do with the whole thing, because, as I said before, we can see a dragon, the same 2 dragon on his wall, on his painting. That dragon that possessed the 7 unlucky god, possessed it to be turned to that demon Haijun, and this kind of thing. And now, so that means now, if Buddha defeat Haijun, that means the human gets 1 more point. But if Haijun defeat Buddha, that means that the demon's gonna get 1 point. And because Haijun is not a god, Haijun do not belong to the god. He's not even on the list with the god versus the human. So that is very interesting now. So that maybe means that we're gonna see we have third faction in the fight. So not in the beginning was mean that only the gods and the humans should fight each other, and now the demon joins into the fight. So this is gonna be interesting to see what will happen, if the whole story gonna totally change, that all of the fighters on the list will be changed, that they're going to be some kind of, they have to join forces together, the gods and the human, against the demon, because I think there have to be a change right now, because if the demon come, they cannot just do this, the continuation of the fight they was planned to do in Reckoning of Ragnarok. And I think because of the name, I think the characters that will go over to the demon side is Loki, the God of Mischief, and Beelzebub, Lord of Fly. These two characters will join up with the demon, and try to take over themselves, the throne of Valhalla, take over themselves. That is just my prediction what will happen in the future of Reckoning or Ragnarok, that we see that. And the other thing is, so I think some of the humans, for example, Rasputin is one of the humans I think will work with the demons and Loki and Beelzebub. And obviously the character that want to join with the humans is Apollo Samahayak, as Apollo the god. So I think the major characters that will work with the demons is Beelzebub and Loki. And then we're going to see other demons, because we see, as I said before, we see in the when Hades described the underworld, we see a big demon, almost sitting down like a big one with horn. And we don't know who this character. And we also see a big throne where the king sits in, like a throne when king sits in. And yeah, so it's really like very interesting right now, because I don't think that it will be the same as it was planned to be in Reckoning of Ragnarok. I think now we really see some kind of evolution of the enemies and this kind of thing. I think because also most of the god is extremely arrogant. For example, that person that really bodied arrogant is Poseidon. That is the reason why Poseidon lost the fight against Sasaki, because he was really arrogant. Like he looked down on, he thinks everybody beside him was like a fly or means totally nothing, even really. But that is not only Poseidon. I mean, Poseidon is a really cool character in Reckoning of Ragnarok. I really like this character. So Poseidon, Shiva is probably my two favorite of the gods. And of the humans, I have to say Sasaki and Lubu. Yeah, it's my favorite of the human. And obviously Buddha is also one of my favorites of the gods, but right now working with the humans. So that is interesting. That means that so it's first was the beginning of this. I'm sorry, repeat myself again. First was the one god against one god, and that happened something. One of the two dragons come somewhere from, and Beelzebub talks about this in chapter 49. And we also see a picture, and I say this so many times, I know, but we see the dragon on the painting on the wall, and so Beelzebub have something to do with the whole thing. So I think maybe it's a connection here with Beelzebub's and Loki and the underworld and High June for some strange reason. Some way they have planned for this attack, probably very long. That is just my prediction, that they plan for this. And so they when Loki see this, he just acts surprised to trick everybody. But I think he secretly he works with the demons and so on. Because all of the gods are extremely arrogant in Reckoning of Ragnarok. You have, for example, Aphrodite. All of them, they do nothing. For example, Aphrodite, I don't even know why even Aphrodite is in the show. She's just sitting down on her stone golems, and that is everything. So and they just want to eliminate the humans because there's not even any good reason. If I to be honest here, it's not really any good reason for the gods to eliminate them. But now maybe they have to change plan because the demons arrive, and maybe they have to change plan and work with the human against the demons, because human cannot stand alone against the demons, and the god cannot stand alone against the demon. So it's going to be very interesting what really happening right now in the reckoning of Ragnarok after all of this. And the next chapter, chapter 51, will be out first in Japanese in August 25, I think, and some days later the English dub will be out for Ragnarok. I know that it's pretty long waiting time for each chapter. I don't know the reason for that. Why we have to wait so long for each chapter? Because what I mean with this is that when we compare, for example, One Piece, you get every week, if it is not a break, obviously. So you don't have to wait long. You only have to wait like on Thursday they come out in Japan, One Piece, and Fridays you can read the English dub, the English, like the English dub you can read on Fridays. So obviously there was a break because of the Olympic Games, so originally it should be chapter 1021, but now it's the chapter 1000 that will come out tomorrow in English dub, and then I will do a review on that chapter for One Piece. Obviously the chapter is already out in Japanese, so if you want to look up all of this but yeah, if you don't want to get spoiled, don't search on anything One Piece, because you will get spoiled then, because then you will see. I don't gonna say anything about the chapter because I don't want to spoil people. I think people should read the chapter before, so they can see so they can get surprised and all this kind of thing. Yeah, and so then we have obviously the other gods that is not yet have any fight. For example, Apollo, Anubis, some of the Japanese water god and all this kind of thing. But it's also interesting to see now who maybe some of the gods will fight some of the famous demons. For example, High June is the first one that Buddha fight against, and maybe the second one, maybe some other character. For example, Apollo maybe gonna fight also against the demon. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what really happened. Do we gonna continuation with the list that was first shown to us with the fighters, or they're gonna be total difference? It's gonna be changed everything that do. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What really will happen, all of this kind of thing, how much change will happen to Reckoning or Ragnarok. But the only thing we know so far is that what Hades tell us is that there is something, that there was a demon world that the god do not think about. And obviously Hades knows about that, but Hades do not rule that world. Hades rule the underworld, but not that underworld. So they are totally different underworlds. So Hades have nothing to do with this world where the demons are from. And the only problem that obviously they do something wrong here. Obviously I know that they show in the underworld, they show Cerberus. And Cerberus is the guardian over the souls in the underworld where Hades rule. So that is a bit misleading too, and they show this kind of Hades do not belong in hell. So when I talk, what I mean by it is that hell is the place where High June is from, the hell, from hell. And I don't know if you can say that hell is the same kind of hell that you think about if you are a Christian. I think I don't know, that is, I think the problem here is a bit misleading in that sense of, because many other religions besides Christianity, Islam and Judaism is the other religion, for example Hinduism, Buddhism and other this kind of thing do not have a hell in that sense what the Christian have of a hell. So obviously the Hindus obviously they have demons that the famous Hindu god fight against, and heroes. For example, one is a famous story of sorry, I forgot to forget. But anyways, what I mean with this is that I think is the only problem I have here is that with this is that they give us a very Western a very Western view of the whole thing. They show us a very this is what I mean. They give us a very Western view of the underworld. They don't give us this very different. For example, how Hinduism see the underworld. They see the demons when the god fight against, for example, and this kind of thing. So I know this is a manga, so in that sense, yeah, I know, but it's still a bit strange because it's not really that sense of hell. It's more like you can say the kingdom. So it's more like better to say it's a kingdom for the demon world. So now we know that the demons will arrive soon in reckoning of Ragnarok, and the god was not prepared for that because all of them was extremely surprised, and all of them were very frightened. Even Zeus are frightened for all of this. So about all of this, that is probably everything I really want to say about this kind of thing about the reckoning of Ragnarok and demons. So obviously the chapter is already out in English. You can find it in Manga Freak. There you can find many different mangas. For example, One Piece, so many and other ones. So if you want to look it up yourself, it's a good manga. It's a really interesting manga. The only thing is that the fights are very, very long, and I don't know. Also, as I said before, with the chapter that is so long between each chapter. Like now the chapter was out in June 29, and you have to wait all the way to August 25 for the next chapter, for chapter 51. I think it's a bit too long waiting time, and maybe it's because they work the same time they work with the season 2 for Ragnarok that's going to Netflix. So maybe that is the reason why it takes so long for them to do each chapter. Or maybe some other reason, I don't really know. The Netflix show was good. It's good. It's a good one. I don't know. Maybe if I just give a huge speculation here, huge one. I think the season 2 will come out maybe in the beginning of next year. If I just to give a huge speculation, obviously I don't have any proof. I don't know even if the season 2 will come out. But obviously if season 2, I hope what we will see in season 2 is obviously the fight with Shiva and Raiden, and obviously you're gonna first battle obviously will be between Hercules and Jack the Ripper. That is, I know that many people like Jack the Ripper, but that is probably the chapter I least like of all the chapters so far I have read, because it was so long, and I don't know. I just think Jack the Ripper's backstory was a bit boring. That is just my own opinion. I think Raiden, Lubu, and Hercules, almost all of the characters we see so far have better backstories than Jack the Ripper. I just say his backstory. His fighting style was really cool. He have really cool abilities that he can transform his. They fight obviously in the city of London. So he can use London as his weapon. He can touch London's cities to turn them to different like blades and so on. So that is really cool. And then obviously have Hercules abilities with his big club that can transform the club to the 12 labors. Sorry, the 12 labors. The Nemean lion, the big boar, the bull, Cerberus, and different shapes. So that is really cool. That's going to be really cool to see in the animation, that fight. That I really look forward. But the only thing is just that the backstory of Jack the Ripper is so long. That is I don't know. It's just, for me, so gloomy and grey and too long. It's just too long. That is the only thing. That is the only thing why I don't like that part with him, is because of his backstory. It takes too long to read, and I really hope that they will do something that make this episode longer, maybe 50 or 60 minutes, with the fight between Hercules and Jack the Ripper, and this kind of thing. So that is everything I really want to say. Okay, bye.